In this video in very noisy Oxford, it's a Peugeot 505 Estate 8-seater. Oh, this is going to be good. So yes, apologies for the traffic noise, but look at this fine beast. Peugeot 505 Familiale. Very long, with 3 rows of seats. Seat 6 in the back. There's a bit of a dent in the passenger door. It's a 1990 base model, the GR. And as it's a GR with 8 seats, that makes it great. In my book anyway. And no, I'm not apologising for that. This one has just returned from a 2,000-mile drive across France, where it was met with much bemusement because, yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw one of these anywhere. Let alone, well, yeah, even in France they're rare. The dinky, tiny little side repeaters, such a Peugeot hallmark from this time. So the engine is, we'll go and have a look at it later. It's an XN1. It's 1960s overhead valve design, push rods, etc. And very ancient technology. It's rear wheel drive. Whereas the Estates were, the saloons had independent rear suspension. We've got the classic old beam axle going on here. There is a torque tube to the rear. I don't fully understand what a torque tube is, to be honest with you. But yeah, big old beam axle at the back. Acres of ground clearance. Though there is one slight issue, which we will hear later. The exhaust is knocking about a bit in a way it probably shouldn't. We shall start with a look inside. Sorry, I'm so excited. Door handles like a Marina, but not from the same factory, I'm assured. And yeah, look inside. There should be a blanking plug there because it has electric windows, and the French love to just fit a blanking plug and use the same door card. Electric front windows, central locking, which doesn't operate on the boot. Ahead of us, nice clear gauge cluster, 137,000 miles, probably pretty low for one of these. We've got a complicated push button HVAC and a fan that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Variable speed, and that's how you adjust the temperature as well. Over here, is that 2 glove boxes? Oh, it is. Look, an upper glove box. Oh dear, that's someone's bank account details there. Let's not look at those too much. And French breathalyzer kits. They're not necessary. Don't worry about them. You can't be prosecuted for not having a breathalyzer. Nice, comfy, broad seats. This is a lovely place to sit. Classic Peugeot interior light up here. Lovely big sun visors. Ooh, document pockets. That's a bit posh for a base model. Down here you'll find the electric window switches and the gear lever. Lovely little action on it, because that's probably straight into the top of the gearbox, or straight into the back of it maybe. Electric window switches as discussed. Nothing else here, just plastic. Lots of plastic. Big old steering wheel. The stalks, as you'll find in many a Peugeot or a Citroen of this era. But utterly baffled by baffling my autofocus, unfortunately. Yeah, bit not their best effort, to be honest. Horn, nice horn. And over this side, the wiper control. No mist function, always a point of annoyance. You just go down for the various settings. Fresh air vent and blanking plugs. Ahoy! This being the base model. I'm not sure what you got on the fancy models, but should we have a look in the back? And then shall we have a look even more in the back? Wow, you sit really high up here in the back. My head is almost on the roof. I suppose they've got to make room for all that rear axle gubbins. Leg room's pretty reasonable, given this is a car with 3 rows of seats. Apologies for the knees. Mat pockets are a bit saggy there, but oh, it's certainly comfortable. Feels very nice indeed, actually. So yeah, I could cope with that. Very low on the back support though, to make sure the seat can tumble. It doesn't come all that high up, so you got no shoulder protection. So for whiplash, yeah, not great. So don't get rear-ended, but you do get a little ashtray, in the door there. Let's just check the window winder. Yeah, that's quite a pleasant action. Tinted glass, mod cons. Oh, ow, bang, head. And if we pull that, there we go, we can escape into the rear. Oh, it's a bit like caving. Oh, there we go, I've managed to fold the back down as well. So here we are on the rearmost bench, and yeah, it's a bit kids only here, I think. Let's pull the seat back up, just trap myself fully. So there's plenty of leg room, but yeah, headroom not so much. I feel enormous. You also get, for pan you down, get a state of this, you've got the hinges for the rear seat just right next to you, ready to bury themselves in your leg. You do get a dinky little speaker, so you don't miss out on the entertainment and fun times. Yeah, I'm going to have to say, this is not comfortable. You would be better off in a CX Familiale. They have more headroom in the back. This is just too tight. Lovely big rear window with a big sweeping wiper, and do you need, oh right, there isn't even a button, so you've got to use the key to open the boot. That's an annoying design for what's meant to be a practical family wagon. You know, you send the kids off to go and grab you a beer from the boot, and not that I'm suggesting that's what you should do with children. There we go, and we're in. But it's just one option. But yeah, even with all the seats up, there is all the space in the world. And look at this. That's just a door handle that they've put on the seat back there, and then you can rock that over as well. I'm not sure where the release is to do that. Is it the same control? No, there must be another one somewhere. Some clever release mechanism so you can tip the seat forward and have even more space. But nonetheless, pretty practical. Yeah, I have to say, as noisy tractors go past, honestly, why did I try and film in Oxford? Because that's where the 505 is, and there's rumoured to be another 505 in Oxford as well. So clearly this is where all the 505s hang out. I'm not sure why, because they're enormous. Let's have a nose under the bonnet, because I'm very aware with the Peugeot 305 I utterly forgot to do that. Very remiss of me. I must have been distracted by the Peugeot 205 alloy wheels. There we go. Go and look at some ancient engine tech. Oh, I'm exhausted. That's a big old heavy bonnet. You see we've got two clips, one each side for it because it's so big. But here is the ancient pushrod XN1 engine. A curious mix of modern and old technology. There's a lot to take in here, I admit. I mean, the fact that there's so much space around it for a start, and it's a cross-flow engine too. 2 litres in capacity. I will post up what the brake horsepower is, and also what the torque is, because it seems to have more of that. But look at this huge bracket for the alternator, and that's the sump down there off to one side of the engine. So it's not below the engine, so it's better for off-roading. I'm not sure what sort of off-roading they were expecting people to get up to, but there you go. Distributor goes through the inlet manifold. It's another interesting development there. And there's a carburetor with some mild electronic control by the look of it. Might just be a stop solenoid. This curious bit of tin. There's a rubber bellows under there to keep it attached to the carburetor. And spark plugs in tubes. There's the exhaust manifold on the other side. Yeah, remarkable. 1990. Although I should remember that's the last year of 2CV production, and they're even more ancient. But yeah, it's a proper 1960s engine, but geared up very much for torque rather than power. But that's fine, kind of what you want in a car, really. I'm curious to drive this thing, so let's just get on and do that. Oh, I need to declare at this point that the exhaust is slightly blowing. Although maybe it's a bit manifoldy, because... Oh no, there it is. It does still occur. Right, wipers. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good pattern. It's getting nice and close there. And there's a lot of windscreen to cover. But yeah, that's good. We got some good overlap, no triangle of doom. although the owner did tell me he's actually adjusted the wipers to make sure there was no triangle of doom. That's a bit crafty in my book. Let's just try the rears. Actually, I'll just pull you back out the mount, if I can do that without accidentally pressing buttons, and yeah, we'll see if we can get the rear to operate. Oh, look at that. That's some top sweeping action there. Right then, seatbelt on. I'll try not to fall asleep on this comfortable velour. Dribbles. The jets went too high. But it's okay. It's okay, it's fine. There's no missed function, but I'm over it. So as we go charging across this car park, can you hear? You can hear how rough the surface is, but I'm not feeling any of it. As we hit the rougher ground, you will hear the exhaust clonk, but don't worry, it's not important. And we go charging over the potholes, and it's like they're not there. This is extraordinary. It's just a shame about that knocking back box. I think the rubber might not be quite right, or there's one missing or something. There's just nothing to stabilise it. Here we go then. Speedo is hilarious, it's all over the place. That's probably 60, probably 70. Why would you want a more advanced engine than that? It's working absolutely fine. A little bit of wind noise. Actually, the mirrors look very much like BX mirrors. Very similar. But oh gosh, this feels so comfortable. And it really doesn't feel short of grunt at all. I think by 1990, pretty much every family car would have a 2-litre single cam engine, and this is good old overhead valves. It just shows, yeah, sometimes a good engine is just a good engine. It's not the most refined engine perhaps, but it's pretty smooth. Let's see how the handling's up. There's a bit of a squashy brake pedal there. Yeah, it generally feels very accomplished. The ride is perhaps not superb, crashing a bit about the place, but maybe that's just, oh, it's 30 limit, whoops. Maybe that's just beam axles for you. Well, yeah, the strangest thing is looking in the mirror and realising just how much car is behind me. You actually feel like you're quite close to the front of the car, so you can be forgiven for thinking it's quite a small car. I'm driving into Oxford here, that's a really bad idea. Don't want to drive anywhere near Oxford. I missed a turning compared to one I took earlier. So we'll test the turn. Look at that. This car is almost as long as a bus. And she's managed to spin round perfectly. Yeah, this is why I don't want to be in Oxford, because traffic madness. I suppose that leaky exhaust doesn't help with the whole refinement thing. Can we have some fanage? Is that possible? No, apparently that's not possible. But this is actually a first time for me. I've never driven a 505 before. I think I've driven a 504, but it was quite a long time ago. I don't think I drove it very far. And these cars share a lot with the 504, which is no bad thing. The 504, a remarkably tough car. Oh, that's where I wanted to go. Oh well, we're doing some more A40 apparently. The markings didn't look like you could turn right there. That's very irritating. So we shall see where we end up. I love the angled gear lever. I don't know why, I just do. There's something delightfully agricultural about it, but it's a lovely precise action. It's much better than Peugeot's front wheel drive cars. I have a horrible feeling this is just a housing estate or something, but nonetheless. Pitch her in. Oh, body roll in. That twanging you can hear is the speedo, which is currently bouncing between 90 and oh, we've reached the end of the road. Clearly this wasn't the way to come. Well done me yet again. This has turned into the worst road test ever. Where's the back end of the car? It's almost as if I haven't got a clue, isn't it? Oh, look out in your Beetle in the middle of the road. I'm going to make one more attempt to actually go the way I want to go. This is very deceptive. Around town, you're pretty aware of how big it is, but actually when you get flying down roads like this, it's deceptive. I have to look over there and go, whoa, that door is miles away. It's bigger than it feels. My brakes are better than your brakes. Oh, now I've lost all my momentum. Yeah, what reminds you how long it is when the back end bouncing up and down. It's that lever effect. It then feels very long. Speed hump test, it says 30, so I should be able to drive over it at 30, right? Yeah, pretty much. One thing this car does much better than the 305 I drove in an earlier video is this pottering around on idle. I'm in second gear, barely moving, and if I put the throttle on, it just gently picks up. The 305 was shunting around a bit, quite annoyingly. This feels smoother, more predictable. Something else I haven't mentioned, look how wide the door opens. It's full on 90 degrees. Not sure it's meant to do that, but it does. But anyway, that concludes the drive of the Peugeot 505 GR8 seater estate. What a fantastic motor vehicle that is. I've really enjoyed that, and yeah, proper old school motoring from 1990. Amazing. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this one. Do check out the 305 GTX video as well, which was also shot in a very similar location, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell.